Hi, everybody. From the center of the galaxy, this is ForceCenter, a show about Star Wars pop culture and the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Ken Knapsack. Hey, all right, how we doing today? It is a Friday, 2 p.m. in the Pacific right now, the best time zone in the world. Taking no comments at this time. But we are going to hang out today with all of you. I'm going to take your calls. It's just me today. Joseph Scrimshaw, as you know, should know, is out in the middle of and going to the first East Coast leg of the Dead Media Bonus Features Tour. So go on out, see the film, follow Joseph on social media. He's updating you on where it is. You can go to Antenna Releasing's website and find out where to experience this fine film and the event around it. So because of that, Joseph's going to try to catch up on ForceCenter the next couple weeks from hotel rooms, airports, who knows? So we're going to make it work. Hopefully get Jennifer Landa to check back in too. But for right now, as they say in most superhero films when there's a prison scene, you're stuck in here with me on ForceCenter Now. Main topic today is something that, we've talked about before. We'll talk about again. I don't care. We'll talk about whenever we want. And it's your favorite performances in Star Wars. This is not about your favorite characters, favorite scenes. It's just kind of those performances, big and small. Put on the thumbnail Adam Driver. I put Elizabeth Dula as Clea. I also put Crosshair, voiced by D. Bradley Baker. D. Bradley nails his performances, but I particularly love the one of Crosshair, particularly in Season 2 of Bad Batch. Those are some of my favorite performances. I only can really fit 3 on a thumbnail, and there's oodles of others. I want to hear from you out there. And it's not just those big moments. Not just the leads. It's also maybe some of the smaller moments, the moments, the things that have hit you, the performances that have brought just a little bit of heart that touched you. I always talk about how I love that Danny Trejo scene in Book of Boba Fett. A couple of scenes with him, but the scene where he is talking to Boba Fett about the Rancor and how it imprints and how it's not exactly what society wants it to be or what it labels it to be, and how also the Rancor's strengths and who it is as a creature can also be a powerful tool. Love that scene. Love that performance. It's not, did it win an Emmy? Would it win an Emmy? No. But it touched me, and it was the right actor delivering the right line. So that's something on the line today that we're going to be talking about there. And yeah, I can't see anymore. So there we go. David, it sounds like the East Coast is the best time zone of the week. No, because in the East Coast, it's already 5 o'clock. It's already 5 o'clock. I still have lunch in front of me, okay? Still have lunch in front of me. I'm dreaming about an upper crust sandwich, the number one most talked about food item here on ForceCenter. Also, our character of the day, if you want to call in and say something nice, you got to say something nice about this character. And that, of course, is going to be Greedo today. I say, of course, like you knew it was coming. I want to take a moment to talk about Greedo. You'd say something nice about this bounty hunter that I will at times describe as hapless, occasionally feckless, definitely ineffectual at times. A character with in the expanded stories, whether expanded universe, but the expanded stories in canon, especially canon adjacent with the from a certain point of view stories. I love how Greedo has become portrayed. Clone Wars here. You can even include the Phantom Menace deleted scenes. I don't care. I want you to say something nice about Greedo. How do you call him in the show? You can become a Patreon supporter at ForceCenter, patreon.com/ForceCenter, at our ForceCenter Patreon page. Get in there to the Discord, continue the conversation, and get the links each week, unique links to call into the show. As always, it's a camera-ready event unless you need... unless you need to be off camera, then I'll know by seeing the camera is off in the queue, and I'll make sure your face doesn't get shown to all of the galaxy. We'll dive in a second. We got Maddie, we got Will, we got Anthony calling in, so get on in here. As they say, the phone lines are open. We are in a post-Comic-Con 2026 week. Not a lot of Star Wars news. We're talking about more things in detail on Monday if we need to. Also catching up with Joseph on some of his takes of the news. Including things like, the Indiana Jones comic might come to mind, some museum stuff we talked about with Jennifer on Monday. I had some good conversations this week out in the wild. The conversations were about a lot of it about the future of Star Wars, the films, the shows, and, looking across to Marvel. Right now, they got a new Spider-Man picture that is apparently getting some good reception early on. I haven't seen it. No spoilers here. No end credit spoils here. But it's getting some. The vibes are good. But at the same time, the director of that film had his Disney Plus show, Wonder Man, canceled. That's got people up in arms, and that just kind of it gets me personally a little scared about the future of streaming. We've been talking about that here for a while. Another show out, another show that's not being made, another show that's not generating jobs in the industry, and specifically the city in which I live. So that kind of stuff's depressing. It also gives a clue to the future. On the Star Wars side, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what's coming. We got Ahsoka season 2. There's some exciting stuff this week that kind of came about. I think our friends over Thank the Maker. We're talking to Ezra Bridger himself, and season 2 is big. It's epic. Those are kind of pungentry words, but also that, hey, look where Dave's taken some of his other shows, and this kind of is a similar vibe. I'm excited about that stuff. So that's something I'm secure about the future. Also, a lot of conversation in bars this week about the movie Starfighter, and I think that's going to be endlessly debated until the movie's out, and then maybe the debate won't stop. The conversation around it still is safe. And I don't disagree with that. I do think it's safe. I do think it is a director that knows how to do his job and takes pride in doing his job. He's even got some interview comments out there like, yeah, what I do sometimes isn't sexy. I'm trusted by studios, trusted by creatives around me, trusted by the crew, and trusted by the actors to do my job right. And to take care of the investments of these big studios that are often, of course, as we know, in the millions and millions and millions of dollars, whether they should be or not, bigger budgets, smaller budgets, doesn't matter. And that is safe, and it is not sexy. And I'm not even super familiar. I know the names on Sean Levy's resume in terms of the films. I've seen some of them, enjoyed some of them. This isn't a debate about him. This is just a debate about, this is a choice they felt they needed to make as they start going into the new era. And I do think 2027 is a new era. I think Mandalorian Grogu is the last of this era. It is just a wonderful, warm film that I enjoy, but it's still kind of weird that it exists. And the conversation around that boring, is also, I think, understandable. But when you got Gosling, you got Levy, you got a bunch of good performers, man. That cast list of Starfighter is exciting. And some of the early buzz, I'm getting excited. Not just for the movie, but I'm getting excited to start seeing things, to start learning about things about that film. And when I was talking about it this week, people were asking me, what do you feel about the future of Star Wars? I do feel it's good. Is it going to be rocky at times? Maybe. But I think it'll be a little less rocky inside the walls than maybe we feel it was over the last couple of years or last decade. And this isn't it's not a Kathleen Kennedy red eyes comment, but like you can't deny from Josh Trank on up, there's been director controversies, things that have gone wrong, decisions that you can be absolutely questioning, including the solo release, all those kind of things. I think it's going to be a calmer era. I absolutely really do, no matter what we know is coming in streaming. Also, I'm not going to say it. Well, I did hear a delicious rumor about a potential animated show coming out. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. All right. That said, what do you want to talk about today? You know what? Go ahead and call in. Go ahead and call in with anything today. I'm in that kind of mood for the time I'm here. You know why? Because I've got pink lemonade. I got pink lemonade because it's pink strawberry lemonade. So goddamn hot today. Let's take a call from our buddy Matty. When I talk about upper crust sandwiches, usually his name pops up. Maddie, a lot to get to today. You have to say something nice about Greedo. What's your favorite performances in Star Wars? And am I a crazy person?
You are, but it's one of the many reasons I love you.
Oh, thank you.
So, like, I need with my friends, like, I need you guys to like match my level of crazy, and I think you just about get there.
That's scary. That's scary. I don't know if I can do that, Maddie. I might let you down. I don't know if I can reach that rock star level of crazy.
I don't know. We've partied together a couple of times.
There you go. There you go. All right. I'm going to force you, though. You have no choice. Say something nice about Greedo.
He definitely knows how to get a conversation started.
That's true. He starts hot, right? He comes in real hot with a blaster.
Yeah. And even if he's not the one starting the conversation, he's often the topic of the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's true. He's the center of the conversation, good and bad. I think that's good. All right, you did it. You said something nice about Greedo. What are your favorite performances in Star Wars?
So I'm going to give one live action and one voice acting because I think voice acting is a profession that does not get the credit that it is due.
Mm-hmm.
But my live action one is Donnie Yen as Chirrut Imwe. I
Love it.
think he's. I've been watching Donnie Yen films since I was very, 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 very young. On
Mm-hmm.
the TN, it used to be on the TNT channel around 2 o'clock in the morning. I would stay up
Okay.
with my granddad and watch them, and we tape them over on the VHS. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to seeing Donnie Yen as like the kung fu master, the martial arts master. So
Right.
obviously a little bit of a typecast in Rogue One,
Sure.
but to see him show his range of comedy that he doesn't often get to show, but when he does, he is really funny. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
the moment where he's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm blind." When they
Right.
put the,
Right.
the thing over his head, but then you have the moments where he's really deep and introspective, and it's like there is more than one prison. I think you carry yours wherever you go.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's such a deep line to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a song lyric, right? Don't you wish you wrote that song lyric?
I do. God, I really do. Actually, now I think about it.
Well, basis, there you go. Just borrow it and base a song around it. You know, Noel Gallagher would do that. No, I agree with you on this. And you know, Rogue One is a movie that's often celebrated, and as Joseph says, is the easiest one to bring up at parties. And that might be because of the dark and gritty nature of it. It is a war picture, and I'm on board for all of that. It's got some humor with K2SO and others, but Donnie Yen does bring not just the wisdom, but the warmth and a spirit to it that I really like. He and Ian Bays have a great relationship, of course, and it's fun to watch them play out. But I think in a movie that is about the wars more than the lightsabers, and the only one we get, of course, is Vader being Vader. But this was an interesting way to approach the presence of the Force in the galaxy in a time where maybe it wasn't, and he carried that burden really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's really showing that like it takes. I mean, you could be walking along the street and there'll just be someone there that's just holding a sign, and you just walk past them. Like it could be like a homeless person, it could be someone who's like looking for donations for a charitable or religious fund, and you just walk right past them, and they could just say something so poignant that just makes you stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, just this random person in the
Mhm.
street at a time when there's so much stuff going on around us. To me,
Yeah.
Chirrut is like the embodiment of that in Star Wars. There's all this like imperial occupation and
Yeah.
everything going on, and he's just this old. Well, we think. Well, to meet him the first time, he's just this crazy old blind man in the street.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of hey, how you treat the least of me is you know, whatever God says. You know, have you ever heard of God? That's something that God says.
I've heard of him. I think I know the hits like "Thou shalt not steal," "Thou shalt not."
Yes.
Like
You own
I
God's greatest hits CD. Oh, that's great.
yeah,
I
I
do
own
too.
it. It's somewhere like in the glove compartment of the car. I don't think I've listened to it
Oh,
since I
yeah.
was a child. So.
Okay, you should check it out. I have mine right next to the Billy Joel greatest hits and the best of Dark Horse, George Harrison greatest hits. You should absolutely check it out. Maddie, you mentioned you also have an animated choice, and you're right. Look, I'll say this about voice acting. I think it's at its not peak. I think the respect voice actors are getting is at a level that it wasn't in the past. There's always been respected voice actors, but I absolutely think it is along with animation, a medium we love here. It can easily be seconded. It can easily be pushed behind. You still get the case, and I get it from a business standpoint. You're going to do an animated movie or thing. You're going to bring in a name actor to take over a voice acting role. Not that they don't do good, but there's a lot of wonderful people. I'm friends with a ton of them in this town. It is a wonderful industry. Not easy to do at all, and I'm glad it gets its flowers more than it used to. But you're right, it's still underrated. What voice acting performance in Star Wars do you love?
So I want to give a shout. It's a gaming one, and it's the legend that is Deborah Wilson. And
Yes.
I see so much in especially gaming spheres of like why is Deborah Wilson cast in everything? And it's the same with someone like a Troy Baker. Like there's a reason Deborah Wilson's cast in everything. There's a reason Troy Baker's cast in everything. There's a reason Jennifer Hale, Vanessa Marshall, all these incredible voice actors are so talented. There's a reason they're casting everything. It's because they are so damn good. And Deborah Wilson, every role that she does, especially as Seer Junda in the Star Wars games, and EA are currently very high on my list at the minute. I'm probably not going to play the third Jedi game when it comes out.
Okay. Why?
I don't like that the owner of EA Games, they've just obviously sold onto the Saudis and Jared Kushner,
Yeah.
and their CEO has just taken, I believe it was a $38 million raise, while you have the game Battlefield 6, which was the highest selling game of last year. They axed the entire dev team.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I thought you were going to say, like, I don't like Cal Kestis's pants, but that's a better answer. That's that's a better, more truthful answer. Yeah, I think that's a great choice. I don't think that would have come to mind for me or a lot of folks is Deborah Wilson's performance as Seer Junda in the Jedi Survivor games there, because it is wonderful. And she's a great performer. I've actually been around her. She was in a friend of the show, Alex Backus. A lot of you remember Alex and Steve from the old Black Series Rebels days. Alex had a short film starring her. I got to see it, and she's just a wonderful actor. Of course, started in comedy, Mad TV's, where she kind of first got her chops going and known. And yeah, I think she actually brings some wonderful heartbreak and great strength to that role. And as I've always said, I don't mesh with those games in terms of just games. I don't play them well. I know I've made jokes about you slice too many animals up for years, but even beyond that, it's not my style of game as much. But I always said this, that not even the stories, but the characters are absolutely rich. And it's because of performances like that, including Deborah Wilson.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm not a fan of like the Elder Scrolls kind of games. Not the Elder Scrolls, they're like the Elden Ring, Dark Souls kind of games.
Is that the one? Is that the one where you make people screw? Which one do you get to have the sex in? Is that
I think that's Elden Ring. Yeah, it's the one where it's like everything's like parry roll, parry, all the time. And those games are kind of like beginners versions of those for me. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, this story's cool. The soundtracks are amazing.
Love it. Well, I think that's some great choices there. Shedding some light on some people not celebrated often or as much as they deserve in the Star Wars world. So great stuff, Maddie. I'm starving. I'm going to get some lunch after the show. What should I eat?
We should come out here and get an upper crust.
Okay, I'm on a flight. I'll be on a Concorde. They still have those, right? Okay, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Well, I'll be there in 2 weeks, so let's go get something.
Oh, outstanding. I'll make sure I'm busy. All right, no, I'm kidding. See you soon, Maddie. See you soon. Thank you, buddy. Hey, everybody, it's ForceCenter Now. You want to call on the show, become a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/ForceCenter. We're talking our favorite Star Wars performances. Also, I'm going to force you to say something nice about Greedo and anything else. Open forum today. Call in and ask a question. I'll try to answer it. I've got pink strawberry lemonade. What could go wrong today? Let's take a call from our buddy Will Dixon checking in, and we get to see Will's face. Will, it looks like you got a nice smart haircut today. You got toys on the shelf. You're ready to talk. How are you?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm feeling chipper today. So, all right, look at that face. Look into the eyes of that face right there. Look in that Rodian. For audio listeners, Greedo's on the screen. What do you got? Say something nice.
Oh, Greedo makes me happy because when I look at his face, all I can think about is what his suction cup fingers would look like trying to fire a blaster. Like, does he stick the finger all the way through and then kind of middle digit or segment thumb it, or you know? What I mean?
I think you're right. This is a great question, Will. This shows that he's got a particular set of skills, even though those skills maybe make him inaccurate, and that would lead to firing a blaster shot first and missing at close range, right? If you're getting he's got to have some stronger towards the base of the flippers, base of the suction cups, a little stronger muscles going on. But does he have a special gun to get that suction cup in there more? I'll make that sound again.
Always my question. Do Rodians have special blasters that allow for the digits?
David Mackay, you're on this. I need you to find this out watching over there, Channel 19. All right, that's great. He's got some skills as best he can firing that gun.
That seems like a good Alex Damon. It's June and I have nothing to do summer video. So how do Rodians fire blasters? Get on it, Alex.
Get on there, Alex. All right, stop day drinking. Favorite performances or any other question today? It's an open forum vibe as well. What do you got, Will?
I was trying not to do Andor, but I'm going to do some Andor.
I'll just stop you right there too, because I want to hear that. Because on the thumbnail I have Clea Markey. And I also had Mon Mothma, and I thought the same thing. I was like, I love that show, and my favorite thing about it is the acting performances from top to bottom. But I was like, I want to represent other parts of the galaxy. But you're right; it could just easily be Andor. So what do you got?
I scratched Elizabeth Dulo off my list because you put her on the marquee. So I'm going to go with Denise Goff because I love her performance throughout that show, and I
Mm.
love the girl boss to fascist season 1.
Right.
I love that they hoodwink us into supporting her before revealing the true colors.
Mm-hmm.
I love her flip versus Edie Karn, where she's
Mm-hmm.
able to take down maybe the greatest badass in all of Star Wars.
Which is another great performance. Yes.
And then to watch her moral break, where by the end of that show, she's rewarded with nothing for compromising everything about herself, and she just plays it beautifully. So that is my choice from Andor.
I absolutely agree, and you know, when you learn more about what goes into the role and the writing of it, and you know, several interviews saying, yeah, the fact that you kind of found yourself rooting for was intentional, and that's what we were playing. It just makes it even more powerful to me. And yeah, and for me, like you know, you're not supposed to root for it, and I don't, because I know what team she's playing for, and I know the decision she's making, but it's still played so wonderfully that there is a fragile humanity behind a lot of it. And I think when, you know, I don't think a lot of us are rooting for Cyril either, but I mean, we've all felt the flopping on bed sigh that he does, that meme-worthy moment. But I think when she stands up to Edie Karn, which I might just have to watch over lunch today, it is kind of a victory moment. It is a little bit of a hero moment, even though you kind of know you shouldn't be rooting for maybe any of these characters. And I think that's that, like I said, the fragile humanity she brought to that role.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Any other bonus thoughts? Bonus choices?
Bonus choice. I was gonna go with Alden from Solo. I love him in Hail Caesar.
Yep.
And I think that, you know, obviously those are big shoes to fill in trying to take over for Harrison, and there's no way to play it where you're going to be a young Harrison Ford. So all he could have done was to do his own, you know, what is a young, zealous, kind of stars in his eyes Han Solo look like, and I think he did a great job with that, regardless of whether you think it was Harrison or not. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
I will never fail to agree with that and give Alden Ehrenreich his due for that role, because it is definitely an argument starter in bars, and I just don't think any of the arguments about it are actually not even about not being in good faith. I just think they're missing the point of the performance, and a lot of that could be like, hey, you didn't like the movie, you didn't feel you needed the movie, and those things are all not just opinions, but things to be discussed and understood from your perspective and then from mine. But I think the performance itself is, to me, pitch perfect. It is something that Harrison Ford enjoyed. Not that you need Harrison to get the stamp of approval, but it was an acting performance. It was not an impersonation. And I'm still, you know, I'm from the Schmozno era of the fandom screaming for Anthony and Gruber to get it because he could do some Harrison Ford voices. And, you know, the fact that John Kasdan mentions, he auditioned. Yeah. End of story. He auditioned. Like, nothing against that dude. He used to call into the Schmoz. Nice guy. But that's not what it was about. That's not what it required. And I think Alden nailed it, and I will stand by that to the end of the time.
I think a lot of those arguments, without getting all over the sequels and everything like that, a lot of those arguments seem to stem from the fact that people just wish we could have rewound to 1983 and just kind of and continue, but we couldn't do that. So I mean, I understand the point, but you either allow for it to grow or you don't, and let's allow for it to grow. So
I agree with you. Will, great stuff. Great words on Greedo. I appreciate it, my friend.
No problem. Also, really enjoyed your segment on culture, faith, and politics. So keep it up.
Oh, thanks, my friend. Thanks for watching that. Pat Conkey and I are cooking. In fact, I got text from him today as we work on our next video, The Real History of the Antichrist. So
I'm here for it.
Check it out. Thanks, Will, for watching.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, we're moving along here today, having some fun. It's ForceCenter Now. It's me, Ken Knapsack here. Joseph Scrimshaw. Out and about East Coast leg of Dead Media. The bonus features tour starts. I highly recommend if you can get to it. If you check the local listings and Joseph's coming to your town or nearby, get on out. Not only just support but and enjoy a good movie, but have a fun event. Bring your friends. It's a good time. All right, let's take a call here. Audio only, it looks like, from our buddy Anthony. Anthony, check it in here. Anthony, how you doing? Welcome to ForceCenter Now.
Hey, Ken. Hey, ForceCenter. How you doing? Hope you guys are doing good.
Anthony, I'm doing wonderful today. I'm glad to hear from you. I'm going to force you to say something nice about Greedo. Then I want to hear your answer. What do you got about Greedo?
All right, Greedo, I will say, was the first thing I knew was from Star Wars.
Oh,
so it started with a a watching of Star Wars on Betamax in my uncle's basement on a projection TV, and when the special effects of how its mouth and his hands moved just freaked me out. At my age, I just was like, this doesn't know. And I just was, no, I don't want to see this anymore. And then years later, I got a lot of hand-me-down toys, and some of the toys donated. One of them was a Greedo, but he must have been outside in the sun and in the snow because he was gray and yellow. And I always remembered looking at him like, he reminds me, because I was much older then. I'm like, he reminds me of something. And so when I finally put it together, I'm like, Greedo is Star Wars. Ah, that's who this alien creature is.
Anthony, that's such a great story, and we always have fun with our character of the day, and it's generally supposed to be someone that I literally want to force some people to be nice to a character that maybe doesn't get treated nice. That is a great story because I totally feel it. Greedo's not necessarily my first Star Wars thing, but we all do kind of have that thing where your early memories, you're not quite sure. I joke all the time about. I grew up in the late 70s thinking that Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, and Star Wars were kind of all the same thing. That Twiggy from Buck Rogers was also C-3PO. So there are those moments that actually, that's what it is. And for me, oddly enough, it is the ghostly image of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Empire Strikes Back. I saw that maybe in a trailer or preview, something, hadn't seen the movie, but I knew that was from Star Wars. And I will never forget that. So that's a great story about Greedo.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I had the same thing with Battlestar and Buck Rogers. And I remember the bear, that half bear, half robot thing.
Yes.
That was horrifying. I always thought it was some bear that they took and turned it into a robot. And I always felt so bad for it. But,
yeah, I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's an abomination in a way. that is was a kind of a puppy dog kind of character. Anyways,
it was weird.
To the main question, Anthony, I'd love to hear some of your favorite performances in Star Wars.
All right, I'm going to start with Orphan Black, Tatiana Maslany. She played several characters.
Okay.
And it was amazing to see how she played characters to the point that after one season, I've been watching it all along. After one season 2 episode, I actually Googled who was the actress playing one of the characters and had to laugh that it was the same person. So for me, in Star Wars, I take that and I bring it to Star Wars, and she won an Emmy for it.
Yes.
When I finally really started getting into Star Wars, it was through Netflix and the Clone Wars and also Rebels. And I did not know for seasons until much, much later that D. Bradley Baker had created such nuance and depth of these clone warriors that were just doomed to horrible ends. And he gave them so much life. And I always, of all the people I think of in Star Wars, it's him. And I think he also deserves an Emmy because I forget it's just one man so often.
Yeah, he deserves like a lifetime achievement just for playing all the clones, right? Like, can you get all the characters and put them into one award? I love that. First of all, when you were talking about Tatiana Maslany, you're taking me back to some of the rumors that she was up for some Star Wars stuff back in the day, and I know she took that run through She-Hulk, a show a lot of folks loved, even though some of the perception wasn't as positive. I would love to still see her in Star Wars because that is an epic performer. I'm so glad you said this. Crosshair is on my thumbnail today for a reason. D. Bradley Baker's performance as the clones, it should be studied. I particularly love the Crosshair stuff in season 2, the depths that he finds, the sadness, the brokenheartedness, and then the determination to at least take the steps forward, big steps with a blaster, to take steps forward to change. It's a heartbreaking performance to me. I absolutely love it. I love Crosshair's journey. Love those scenes. But just, overall, man, that is like something that would make me go crazy of you've got to play thousands of these clones. And he does it.
Yes. Yeah, and he does it so well. And it just makes you fall into the story that you can feel they're connected. I'm so proud that they were able to figure out how to keep him for decades now to make it feel like, yes, these are clones. They have somewhat the same voice. Why whenever Omega said my brothers, it just hit me every time she talked about these are my brothers. There's something deeper there than yeah, it's deep. It's like family deep. It's friend deep. It's military connection deep. It's a big thing, and he somehow captured it.
Yeah,
and
he did.
And I will have to say that I have to throw, because every time I see him, I remember Mr. Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
As Saul Guerrero. Anytime he shows up, you remember that scene. No matter what you want to say about his acting, you remember what he did.
It is absolutely some of my favorite performances in Star Wars, and it's unhinged. Like, it's unhinged. I love that they made the change in Rogue One and the reshoots to give him the hair. The shaved head look is great, and it plays in the animation. Rebels and everything plays good. But it just says so much about him. It is so organic, just so real. And for him as an actor to be like, how do I want to play this? This is a character that was around. Lucas himself had this character kind of in the works, and this was going to be an important character in that Star Wars show that didn't come to pass. So you get to embody this and like, all right, he's breathing. We don't even know then he's huffing gas, but he's breathing. His legs missing. How am I going to play this character? And to get to it, and I'm with you. It's not just memeable stuff, and quotable stuff. It is heartfelt, and I'm with you. No matter where he shows up, I remember every moment.
Yeah, it's very memorable. And thanks for the time.
I love it, Anthony. Thanks for calling in, my friend. All right, we are taking your comments, your calls about your favorite performances in Star Wars, big and small. We got some comments to get to. I just want to shout out to the Waco Jedi, checking in with a nice, generous super chat. 1 week ago, did not expect to be at Galaxy's Edge, Anaheim today, all the way from Texas. Can't join today. Cheers. Waco Jedi, if you're going to miss a ForceCenter Now live broadcast, being at Galaxy's Edge is a good reason too. Regarding my rumor earlier, David Mackay said, just rumor, Dex's Diner animated series confirmed. Absolutely wish, but that's not the case. Absolutely not the case. Our buddy James Holmes checking in. Says, Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi, that wink to C-3PO was quite bittersweet for me. Yeah, please, if anyone's calling in and wants to talk Mark Hamill in Last Jedi or any other part of Star Wars, absolutely. This isn't you don't need to claim it first and worry about it later. Share whatever you want, but good time to bring up Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi, for him to come back to that. And, and it's obviously well documented, his issues with doesn't matter. He was a professional. He was a great actor, and he did what he was supposed to do. He found what the character needed. He found what the writer and director wanted to get across, and he nailed it. I know it's Joseph's one of his favorite performances, so we'll bring it up in honor of him. And yeah, little moments like that. We got the big, the macro, the micro is little moments like that. And yeah, him adding that. I know that's part of the fabled lore of the movie. Hey, they should have some interaction. Wink. And how 3PO could see a ghost version of Luke. We don't need to worry about that. I don't worry about it. That's what the Force does. It materializes your body so everyone can see, including droids. Oliver says, hey, I'm sure we'll hear this quite a bit today, but Adam Driver is one of my favorite performers in Star Wars. He brought such fresh gravitas to the sequels, and my favorite of the newer generation. That was echoed here by Ren2 Ben Solo. I agree about Adam Driver. Love or hate the sequels. He brought a layered nuance to the character that I think few actors could pull off. It remains maybe overall my favorite performance in Star Wars. That's why he's at the center of the thumbnail put together today. Adam Driver is an interesting cat, an intense dude. I did watch first season of Girls, and I remember when he got cast, I was like, okay. I mean, he's great. But I was like, this is an interesting fit. This is a true actor coming to Star Wars. And that we've had that before from Alec Guinness, Harrison Ford, Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, like not just names, but just like long-running professional actors. And this guy was coming up. And I'm still blown away. I'm still thankful that we have him. And, I think at the end of the day, he's pretty positive with his relationship with Star Wars. Clearly, if they were ready to revisit the character, not just Kylo Ren, but Ben Solo, the hunt for Ben Solo, I'm one of the folks that think that movie is gone. It's dead. It's never coming back. But hey, things have died before in Hollywood and come back. So maybe one day we'll get to see him slide into that role again. Absolutely one of the best. Some more calls on the way here. We'll get to those in a second. But also want to highlight Callie Kidd had a couple great comments here. Amelia Clark, wonderful as Kira. Woody Harrelson is Tobias Beckett. So, yeah, you know what? Yeah, obviously, I'm a big fan of Amelia Clark. Love what she brought to that role, and a role that was initially maybe underdeveloped and underdirected, but then Ron Howard comes in and helps her pull it out a little bit more. It is a movie about Solo, so everyone else is going to be kind of second fiddle to the character, but she created the base of a great character, and I still, too, want her get a chance to dive into that role again on a different level. But I don't think we talk about Woody Harrelson as Tobias Beckett enough. I love it. I love that he played it like you'd expect Woody to play it, as a southern food chomping, snack having, insult throwing scoundrel. I like it. It is a fun interpretation of what a mentor to Han Solo would be, and I think it's underrated. I'm with you on that there too. Calicat also says legendary Swedish actor Max von Sydow as Lor San Tekka. He's fantastic in Force Awakens. He nails it. And Calicat says Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan and Rebels. That is also a great performance. I agree with that. Get to super chat from the obscure essayist in a bit. Scarlet Wolf says the kids in Skeleton Crew. I'd love to see a sequel to that series to them as older kids. I agree with that. Let's take a call here. We got Jedi James, we got Eli, and then Brady behind that. Oh, I added too many people to the. What did I? Oh, poor Anthony's been in the show the entire time. Thank you, Anthony, for hanging around. Jedi James, you're here. How are you?
Wonderful for two reasons. One, I get to celebrate amazing performances from the galaxy far, far away. Mm-hmm. Two, you have to give Jennifer Landa my regards, because when I saw she was back this week, I literally screamed to the top of my lungs, because she is missed around here, and it was great to have her for just a minute.
She is, and she definitely would love to hear that, and at times maybe needs to hear that, because she's got so much going on. And we talked a little bit after the live show on Monday, and she definitely misses the ForceCenter friends. But she's in our Discord, so you can always try to chat with her in our Discord. Another one of the benefits of being a Patreon. But anyways, I appreciate you saying that, Jedi James. It's nice to hear you say nice words about Jen, but it's also better even to have you have you say nice words about Greedo.
Oh, I'll definitely say nice words about Greedo. Do I think highly of him as a bounty hunter? Not that much, but no. He did accomplish two things. One, he showed us just how awesome Han Solo is. Whether you like that Han shot first or you like the altered version, who knows, who cares? He just showed us how awesome Han is. Not that Han was a bad guy, but just that Han is in this world, and he's going to take matters into his own hands. And even when I think Han really shows how much of a good guy he is, as Kira says, he still takes action into his own hands. And I think that's definitely part of what that scene shows. Yep. So I love that Greedo did that for us. Took a little, to quote Jabba, he got crisped and fried to show it off. But hey, sacrifices need to be made sometimes.
Yeah. I love that take on it. It's almost a little pro wrestling to me of Greedo is the jobber putting over the star, and you got to have someone do that. You got to have someone stare up at the ceiling lights and get the pinfall, take the pinfall. And that's Greedo, and that is one of the all-time legendary introduction scenes. Which is why, and I understand it. I understand the hoopla around Han shot first and everything. I don't always agree with it. I don't think it's as big of a deal to me as it is other folks. I like the McClunky of it all, but it is one of the great introductions of a character, and Greedo's got a part in that, whether he likes it or not.
Yes, and the other thing I'll say is I just love sometimes just randomly to myself saying made-up words from Star Wars from other characters. Like I love saying Rey's "Telema Parkwa, Parkwa Zigana, Noma" at random points. I love Sidon Ithano's "Iate," or however you say it. Greedo does the same thing for me. Not McClunky, although I do love McClunky, but sometimes I just can't help myself from saying "Janchidale."
That's absolutely. You're good at picking up those languages. You should be you should create dialects in space movies.
I don't think I have those skills, but I'm happy to say them.
That's good. What are some of your favorite performances in Star Wars?
Can you torture me with this question? Because I could just go everywhere in this galaxy, everywhere. But with your, I'm going to do a Maddie Gunner and go live action and animated here. With your permission, I'll do two for each because they're kind of tied together.
Okay, roll them. Let's do it.
Live action, I mean, this is a Hall of Famer, but Ewan McGregor, just what he did for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's not even just the big moments, not just the "you were my brother, Anakin," or "you were the chosen one," but just the little snarky smirks he gives in the Phantom Menace, the little, "that's why I'm here." It's the looks of confusion, so the good jobs, and the other happy landing, and just all those little things that he picked up on from Sir Alec Guinness and just made this character even, dare I say, even more iconic than he already was in this franchise. And that alone would be wonderful. But then what he did in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, especially in that final duel, And to pair with my other live action performance that I had to say, Vivian Blair, just bringing the iconicness of Leia as a child, which Carrie Fisher, she's an icon. I'm only realizing just how much of an icon she truly is in current years, and just being able to take the weight of that, much like Alden Ehrenreich, and just making this character home, but fulfilling the layers and the nuances of it. And the way those two match together in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I'll praise that show for all time. I just love those two actors so much, and I'm so grateful for them and for that moment where Ewan just is like, I wish I could say I was your father. This is my reflection on family and how I feel about it with the Jedi Order and what I maybe need to process in order to get to a better spot. And that, but you know, you are kind, discerning, like your mother. I'm forgetting the quote right now. Shame on me, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you all know I mess up quotes all the time. Great, I love that, and you're speaking my language on that series. I absolutely love Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, and I think one of the disappointments I have, or some of the discourse around it, and like we've said here on the show, like budget-wise, it got hammered a little bit, and I think at the time it was made, there probably was some constraints on it with the COVID protocols in place that I wish it didn't have. But nuts to all that, because Ewan got to come back, and he got to come back at the right time. And you're right, he was always spectacular in those films. But, you know, George has his style and all the critiques of the kind of the stiff dialogue, all that stuff that I get and understand and maybe even agree with on some level. He found a way through that in a way. I really do. Those little moments you're talking about, and George let him play that. And he found that side that was there in Alec Guinness's performance. As we always say, Alec Guinness's performance in New Hope was a jumping off point to so much great storytelling and moments. And Ewan found that. Pretty much, you know, embodies the role. And shout out to James Arnold Taylor, played him, and also Stephen Stanton playing him in Rebels and everything. But I cherish that we got to see him come back, do it again with some modern kind of filmmaking around him, meaning, you know, a little bit more actor first. And absolutely, Vivian Lyra Blair, that is, I can't imagine trying to first, as a creative team, trying to find someone to play that role. And I can't imagine someone taking it on that young with that much aplomb and just nailing everything about it. It's one of my favorite performances in Star Wars 2. Some of my favorite moments. You're speaking about it there. I love the moment with Bail Organa late in the series. So yeah, I will always cherish that series, mostly because of those two performances and everything else around it. Love Reva, love all the stuff, but those two at the center.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I love it. I know the show isn't for everyone, but it's definitely for me. And yes, those two performances are a big part of that. And then just to speak on the animated side quickly, because again, animation is, voice acting is a talent. It is to be held up high, in my opinion. Two from Rebels, one Vanessa Marshall as Hera. She just carries so much from the motherly side to the commander to the I'm going to be firm but fair with you. I think of her speech to Ezra even as early as the first episode of Star Wars Rebels. If all you do is fight for yourself, then you have nothing. Or similar to what Obi-Wan says later, but I can't remember again. I'm messing on quotes today. Please forgive me. But from that, again, just her camaraderie with Kanan and the way that develops. I even think back to when that episode with Cham Syndulla came on and Vanessa Marshall just played it where she slipped into her French accent because that's what happened. It's so good.
Yeah, I love that.
And she just made this character as iconic and wonderful and recognizable as she is. And then again, I mentioned how these are tied. Well, I have to also speak to her adversary, Lars Mikkelsen as Grand Admiral Thrawn, because I didn't grow up with Thrawn. I did, all I knew was I saw some pictures on Wikipedia, and I was like, oh wait, there's a blue guy with red eyes. Okay, Rebels is what made me aware, and then of course I went back and read the books, and I do enjoy them quite a bit. But Lars Mikkelsen just brought an eerie calm and dedication to Thrawn that just it fascinates me. It just so fascinates me, which is why I think I love watching Thrawn so much. Why I almost become dangerously close to cheering for him when I gotta be like, James, he's a fascist. Don't do that. But but I just love all those things he does. Just like the Empire is a magnificent construct, but not without its problems. Or just the I studied the art war. It just does something to my soul that I can't stop listening, and I have to lean into my seat going, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And just the way those two carry off each other, and so many scenes, Hera just spiting at him as she should. Thrawn just like, I imagine you will, Captain, as so many of your kind have before. It just, I eat it up, Ken. I eat up, and I thought Lars was great in the Ahsoka show. I understand why you didn't bring Vanessa in for Ahsoka, but I think Mary Elizabeth Winston does great. But Vanessa Marshall does amazing. So I cast those two for my animation vote.
Those are great choices. Vanessa Marshall, very versatile performer. Of course, shows up in other things as well, Maul and Resistance, all the things. So I absolutely think it's right. And I like that you point out, going back to the first episode, you're right. I had a weird relationship with Rebels early on where I wasn't sure about it, and I was talking about that on Jedi Alliance, and then just going, I grew to love the show. And then to go back and revisit season 1 as I did, I was like, some of the things that I thought only came later, including like some of the depth and Hera's this emotional center, were there from the beginning, including episode 1. So I'm glad you pointed that out. As someone who did grow up with Thrawn and loved Thrawn and was waiting for Jack Nicholson to play him when they made Star Wars Episode 7, I just knew that was going to happen in the 90s. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Then having kind of a relationship where I don't love the Zahn books as much as I did. I wasn't sure if I would ever want to see Thrawn in it, but I think in Rebels they do it perfectly, and they found a great performer to do it. And as I've said before, like, I wasn't sure about it in Ahsoka as much. Like it bumped up against me a little bit until one time. I was in my gym. I had Ahsoka on, and I couldn't see the TV screen. I couldn't see the performance. I could only hear it. And I was like, nah, it is just as perfect. It's just, I have to get used to the live action version of it. But it is more than even Jack Nicholson could have done in the 90s. It is the performance that I think I envisioned in my heart and soul when Thrawn was on the page in the early 90s. So I agree with that.
Wonderful. That's everything I have to say right now. Thank you for letting me run a little longer. I'm so passionate about these performances. They're wonderful.
No, great stuff as always. Great stuff.
I was just watching the 2 throne room scenes for quick Star Wars cuts this morning. I was like, you can talk about performances in there on their own too. So.
Absolutely. No, I love it. No, as always, thank you, Jedi James, for your insights. Thanks, buddy. All right. Some good comments here. Then we got Eli, then we got Brady. Advent saying Jack Nicholson as Thrawn. I was thinking Donnie Yen. Thrawn needs to be a kick-ass word face-to-face. Yeah, right. But in the 90s, man, you know, Nicholson, you got to imagine he would have done like he basically would have been Jack as Thrawn with blue face paint on. But you just come off, not too far from the Joker, and I think that's where I was going there. Some great comments. I want to acknowledge some super chats before we get to Eli. The obscure essayist saying the scene in episode 6 of Acolyte where Sol's by himself on his ship for a bit and takes a moment to process everything that's behind stuck with me as a great moment of subtlety from Lee Jung-jae. I was just talking about the performance with someone else the other day, and we were acknowledging that, hey, the guy learned like English for the role, and sometimes that can seem limiting, but beyond that, he found the heart and soul of that character, and I think that's one of my favorite things about the Acolyte is the burden, the pain that was bringing him down, and he finds those moments there. So great one there. Thank you for the very generous super chat. Drew Markham says one that I'm so happy to celebrate here. Thank you for the generous super chat. Drew says, being a parent now, I think Pernilla August's performance is so effortless, gentle, and so maternal, incredible. Of course, as Shmi Skywalker. Also, Drew adds, Greedo has a great laugh. That's true. Greedo has a great laugh. Absolutely love that. And then we got some people agreeing with that one in the comments as well. Yeah, man. When I came back around to reevaluate Phantom Menace for myself, one of the things was the performance that Pernilla August, a very seasoned performer, who of course appears in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, because George was building the prequels then. She's just heartbreaking, and the strength she has behind that moment to give up Anakin, to kind of feel that there's a greater reason for it all, but also be so sad. I think it's just it's great stuff, and I've written about it, and I've put it on videos here in Force Center. I really do think that what she helped foster and put into the heart of young Anakin is what's present throughout him, that everyone who can connect with it feels, whether or not they change him or not. Padme, they're still good in him. Luke and his drive to save his father. Even Ahsoka at times. It's there from Shmi. It is absolutely something that I think she helped both foster and, like I said, put in there. So great choice there. Absolutely great choice there. Patrick has one here I agree with here too. I love both live action performances of Bail Organa. I wasn't sure how to feel the first time he showed up in Andor, but Benjamin Bratt did such a great job capturing the spirit of the character. I agree with you. I'm so partial to Jimmy Smits. I love the stuff in Ahsoka. Holy moly, love this. I mean, Kenobi. And he might show up in Ahsoka too, right? Could be. No, he couldn't. What am I saying? But his, the stuff in Kenobi, it's some of my favorite stuff. For me, it was great to have the, L.A. Law guy in Star Wars back in the prequels. But I was so bummed. I was so bummed to hear that Smits was the one recast in Andor season 2 because we had heard something like that had happened and that was kind of coming out. And I was bummed. But Benjamin Bratt, man, going back to Demolition Man, the guy can bring it. And I absolutely agree with you. They are the same character to me. They have the same feeling. They have different sides. Smith shows the paternal side in Kenobi at a different time in his life, and Bratt kind of shows the we got to do something side and the tear shit up side. So there you go. Advent says Adam Driver would have been an awesome Thrawn. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong. Two others comments, and we'll get to Eli here. Gaz Nottingham saying, I would like to nominate The Client in The Mandalorian, played by Werner Herzog. So good. Absolutely. We are blessed to have that man showing up in Star Wars and playing that role. And as has been said in the comment section here, the lines, there's so many lines. I'd like to see the baby, timeless classic. But Gaz Nottingham saying, can I offer you a libation to celebrate the closing of our shared narrative? Might be my favorite piece of dialogue ever in anything. I absolutely love it. I really, truly do. And also on the same line, Advent says, can't forget that we had Queel. I have spoken. A combined performance for me of Misty Rojas and, of course, Nick Nolte. Again, when rumors that Nick Nolte, I remember someone told me, Nick Nolte was seen around some offices today, the Favreau offices. I was like, really? And then it happened that he was going to be in Star Wars and envision him as a lot of things, including a crusty bartender. Tremendously happy with the performance we got there. All right, let's take a call here from Eli. Eli, you're on ForceCenter Now. Looking forward to hearing your choices. But first, you have no other option. You must say something nice about Greedo.
I don't have any other option. Look, from a guy who, according to there's this old I think it's now Legends source book called The Bounty Hunter's Code, once fell off a parked speeder. There's not a lot good to say here. I will say Greedo is a part of one of my favorite standalone episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars, called Sphere of Influence, where he captures Baron Papanoida's daughter. Is any better at that job at his job in that episode than he was in A New Hope? No, but I liked seeing him.
Yeah. You know what? When he showed up in that one, this is before some of the comics now, or from a certain point of view, the New Hope version back in 2017, it goes hard on Greedo. There's a lot of stories of him being just the worst. I think that doesn't necessarily, even though they're writing about New Hope, I think they're carrying the spirit of that Clone Wars episode forward. I think that's where a lot of us, and again, the extended, the legends, all that kind of stuff too. But I think that in a modern way is what moved that forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Greedo is like, you need a Greedo. In order to have your people like your Boba Fett's and your IG-88s, you need a Greedo.
You need a Greedo,
the best
everybody.
of the best, you have to know who's not in the best of the best.
Absolutely love that. All right, thank you. I asked, you answered in a wonderful fashion. But what are some of your favorite performances in Star Wars?
So I wanted to, like some other folks, do a live action and an animation one. So I have two, one live action, one animation. My live action one is quite simple. It's Daisy Ridley. Never a dull moment across that trilogy with her. Yep. Like every single second that she puts into playing that character, like no matter what she's given, and I am somebody who happens to like all of the sequel trilogy, but like she gives 100% in everything she does, and I'm like still holding out hope for her return in movie form on the big screen. Whatever form that is. I prefer Sharmina Bitchinoy to still be on the helm of that, but even if she isn't,
Same.
I'll still take more Daisy Ridley back because I know she's going to put, 110% into just doing whatever whatever she is written to do, whatever Ray is written to do.
Yeah.
I actually I think one of the things that reminds me that put Daisy in my mind, specifically at the forefront of my mind, is that with Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out this weekend, like Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland, ironically, even though they starred in the film together, like they remind me a lot of each other because both of them are so dedicated to their work, and both of them put so much of themselves into giving the best performances that they can.
Yeah.
And yeah, like whatever moment you have, like her reaction when she thinks she killed Chewie is gut wrenching. Her stuff in the Mirror Cave in Last Jedi is great. Pick a moment. It's all.
Yeah. No, pick a moment indeed. And I'm glad you said this. I was just talking. I don't know if you know this guy named Alden Diaz. He's on some shows.
Heard of him.
We heard of him. Yeah, we were recording some Casually Talk this morning, and we were talking off air about some things we often do. And he was talking about Daisy kind of has. There's an interview clip out there where someone said, "Hey, what's a question you wish someone would ask you about Star Wars?"
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And she says the acting performances. And we were talking about it. It's great that you brought up. We were talking about our performance, and I was on board with Force Awakens from her scenes on. I'm talking about my first viewing. I was a little nervous and I wasn't sure. I loved the Lord Santeca stuff. Poe was great right away. BB, but I was just like, all right, I wasn't settled in as a longtime fan. Have they done it? Have they pulled this off? But when you get to her stuff, the introduction of that character is so warm. It is so also heartbreaking, and just the longing there. And I think that comes from her choices there. But she grew as a performer, and her choices as a performer got better and better. You could see her come into her own, and that is why, above all other story reasons, canon, lore, otherwise, the reason I want her to get to come back to that role and want it to be in a New Jedi Order film or whatever it may be, is she's, I think, not only even a better performer, I think she's a more fully developed and grown human. She was a kid when she got that role, and she had to grow up at that role. She's like 21, 22 when she's playing that role, and she's older now, and she got so much to bring to that role. And I think, much like I talk about Ewan McGregor, and this is something that Joseph had said for years, of like, you got to have the Kenobi movie or show because he's at the perfect time to play it. I think if you come back with some sort of New Order film, it would be the perfect time to carry that character on with Ray playing it. So I agree with your take.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just such a great I'm so excited for her to come back. I'm so excited for us to see, because she was wrestling with this, the ideas of legacy and who she wants to be and all that kind of stuff. Now that she has, there's nothing saying that she can't do more of this, but now that she's decided, at least for that trilogy, who she is and who she wants to be, what I'm really hoping for in New Jedi Order, whatever it is seeing her actualize that, seeing her being like, okay, so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to start doing. And I think it's incredible. For my animated pick, I'll say my animated pick before this was indeed Mr. Lars Mikkelsen. And he's great, but for the sake of picking something different, I'm going to go with somebody you might know well. I'm going with Sam Witwer.
Okay.
I loved him before Maul Shadow Lord, but I think Shadow Lord really locked in for me.
I agree. Yeah.
Exactly why he is the best choice for Maul, who's a character I've had a complicated history with. I didn't like when he came back in TCW. I'm still not sure I totally agreed with that decision, but I can't deny that what they did with that character after they brought him back is truly artful, and just really, I'm thinking of the speech he gives to Ahsoka in the Siege of Mandalore, explaining his plan, is just so well done, both writing wise and acting wise. And especially now with all those conversations, especially the one in the shadows, that he had with Devin in the early episodes of Maul Shadow Lord. I just think there's so much nuance and so much real depth brought to a character that really didn't have much until 2012. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually understand where you're coming from and agree with it. I think he's obviously a talented actor and performer, and funny you said Sam Witwer. It's like, well, what performance? Because there's a lot of little things he's done. Obviously, it's Maul, but I know what you mean. Especially Clone Wars season 7 was a ratcheting up of the performance, but Maul Shadow Lord to me was an absolute just kind of masterclass from him as a performer. It even did add more layers to Maul. And I understand where you're coming from on Maul. Matty Gunner would disagree with us both, but yeah, the return was a little different, but he brought something special to it. I absolutely agree with the choice. Though Witwer knows what he did. He knows, Eli, that the timer ran out on that question in that infamous Schmodown match. He knows that the system was against me. Witwer knows he got away.
We're going to have to run back the tape with that a few more dozen times.
Run back the tape. Run back the tape, okay? I'm sitting there. I have this miraculous comeback in the Star Wars Iron Man match. I'm looking at the clock, and Harloff's face, Ellis's face. They all saw the clock go out. He got to sneak one in.
Yeah, that's what happened.
There you go.
That's
Eli,
how it happened. But yeah,
I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for those answers.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right. We got Brady, one more call left today here, unless you want to get one in here. We've got, Detective McCarson, I agree with your comment here. Says, until Shadow Lord, Sam really hadn't done much different with Maul. That one short season allowed Sam to give so much more to the character. I agree with that. I think I want to speak for Eli, but I kind of think that's where he was coming from of like, yeah, he's great as Maul. And I think Clone Wars season 7 does start to offer some wrinkles, but a Maul show only works if you're able to do that with this character, and Sam hit all the notes, and he's obviously great at what he does. And I kid about the Schmodown stuff. Advent coming back with a very generous super chat. We really appreciate that. Cassian's explosive. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Still hits me. Honorable mentions to Alex Lothar, such a calm determination. He knows he might be forgotten Keystone. Love that. Adria Arjona, complex hero. Love those performances. The Cassian thing that I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old from Rogue One. In a way, and I'm not saying this is what Gilroy has said or anything like that, but like that to me is almost like the pitch for the Andor series, and where you can dig into that and how he delivers it. Much like I talk about Alec Guinness and Sir Alec Guinness's performance in New Hope, with these pause, these looks, these choices as an actor that allow you to go, what does he mean by that, and what story can we tell behind it? I do think Diego Luna hits it in that moment that allows you to go, what's going on there? Because of all the characters in that movie, you could have picked a lot of them to have a good backstory. You could have had a Jyn prequel series. We got Rebel Rising is a great book that covers it, but you could have gone live action. Absolutely wish Riz Ahmed could come back. But I think that line would make me think, okay, what's there? Let's dig into it. And I agree with that choice there. All right, final call of the day. Brady, my friend.
Hello.
I'm
doing well.
Good. How are the Lakers doing? Are you geared up for a new season?
Oh, I am excited. We could probably talk more about the Lakers on the Blathering.
Okay, we'll do that. I got a bonus episode of the Blathering tonight. Come talk Lakers. Good to hear from you, buddy. What's one nice thing you got to say about Garrido?
One nice thing to say about Garrido, huh?
Mm-hmm. Think about it.
I think in that one behind the scenes photo, Garrido had some very nice heels.
This is true. This is true.
But if we had to do in character, in universe, I will say Greedo has some excellent moisturizer routine on his eyes. Those puppies are shining.
They're shiny. They're little galaxies in there. I agree with that. All right. Heels and skincare routines. I think you're right. And skin or eye care routines too. Brady, thanks for that. As always, appreciate your thoughts. But what do you got for best or favorite performances in Star Wars?
So Eli kind of took mine, but I will go in
damn it, Eli.
Damn you, Eli. But I will go in a different direction. And I kind of thought of this character because I mean we already know the character, but because I recently saw something about someone was commenting on the Odyssey and how Nolan does a lot of hero's journey throughout his movies, and it's usually hero's journeys around men. Odyssey being no different, probably like the original one. But Rey actually was one of the first like female character hero's journeys. Like now when I was thinking about it, because there aren't very many um, and at all, and just putting like what Rey, what the character, like doing the close-ups, and then doing like also because of the hero's journey is like the far away aspects, like the action sequences, and another thing that made me think about it was Rey I think is kind of a low-key influential character because in the behind the scenes of like Toy Story, speaking of a recent movie too, they were mentioning how they looked at a lot of Rey sequences to inform how they're animating some of their female action sequences in their movies. I think in the first one was Toy Story 4.
That's great.
And it's sort of like a lot of the behind the scenes and other, female forward characters, they also kind of cite Rey as well. And I just think, one shout, like Rey is kind of an influential character.
Little bit. And it's why often in describing my kind of current take or the take on Star Wars the last 10 years is happy to discuss everything, happy to hear what you don't like about the films and stuff like that. But specifically, I point out, but it can go to any character. But specifically, I always say is I will not let you take away a young fan's joy of Rey or dressing up as Rey, dressing up as Kylo Ren, Finn, Poe, whatever. But I always highlight on that because early on, when I was going around conventions with Screen Junkies in 2016, that's what I was seeing more than anything was young people, young girls specifically, but young people cosplaying as Rey. And I was like, that's what it was for. That's what it's needed. And the character does so many other things, and I like the character in different ways, but I think that's the core of it. And I think you're right to highlight that.
Yep. And because I want to shout out a different performance because mine was taken so last minute, I also wanted to shout out Princess Leia's character throughout the entire saga. Which Rey's character actually took a lot from Leia. In the very first movie, Princess Leia has, I don't know how much minutes of screen time, but she was probably one of the most memorable characters from that.
Indeed.
And then that onward to Empire Strikes Back, and I mean, of course, onward to the Return of the Jedi and the sequels. And then in The Rise of Skywalker, like they got so much out of her performance. Like Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, had passed away, but they were able to use her performance and create like an entire arc that in my opinion was pretty believable. And that's just acting, baby.
Yeah, just acting, baby. You're right to bring up Carrie Fisher. In fact, coming next week, Joseph and I have a Star Wars Questions episode talking about the combined legacy of Leia and Carrie Fisher. And that question takes us to a lot of spots in discussing Carrie Fisher's performance and who she was, who she is, who she will be remembered as. So I absolutely think that's a great choice, Brady. Good stuff. You see, even though Eli came in and stole it in a dastardly fashion, you did all right. You did all right.
It's all right, Eli.
It is. All right. Thanks, Brady. I'll hopefully see you on the Blathering Lady.
Yeah.
Later. All right. All right. That's it. We're getting on out of here. One final super chat from the Cali Kid. Andy Serkis is powerful as Snoke and as Kino Loy. Yeah. He's, gets too locked in there. The Kino Loy stuff is spectacular. I like the Snoke stuff too. And it's big over the top, and it is what it is. But to come back and deliver that performance as Kino Loy, I mean, it's perhaps one of the best fist pumping performances in that series, and it's full of great performances. But never more than 2 line and all that stuff. Absolutely amazing. And I could watch him trying to deliver that speech, and then Cassian telling him, "Come on," and delivering the speech. It's just some of my favorite stuff. So shout out to Andy Serkis there. He had some comments recently I don't agree with about the Hunt for Gollum and the casting decisions or choices, but I'm looking forward to seeing that movie nonetheless. So anyways, great performance from Andy Serkis. Great performance from all of you here today. We did it. ForceCenter Now, live here on a Friday. Hopefully you're watching later. If you're watching later, leave your choice. Let us know that you're part of the Watch Later crew. Leave your choice for best performance, your favorite performances in live action, animation, or otherwise. You could put video games in there as well. That's why Deborah Wilson was a great choice earlier today. We appreciate you all. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ForceCenter. If you're hanging around here on a Friday night, head over to my YouTube channel about 5 p.m. Pacific, and I'll be doing a bonus episode of the Blatherate Live, and we'll have some fun over there as well. So that's it. Go see Dead Media. Tell Jennifer you missed her. She'll come on back. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.